Hello, hello, hello. We're right back again. It's Sheena Cantar and
Bobbi Jo. And here we are, and it's good morning from me and good afternoon from Sheena as she's across the pond. I'm here in Alabama in the United States, and she is right now in England, my Irish friend.
in Cheshire in England. So yes, Bobbi Jo and I met, just to give you a quick background, we met 4 or 5 years ago as a Bob Proctor consultant. We knew we needed to change things in our lives. Our thinking was not helping us, and our way certainly wasn't working. And we went to try Bob's. And so now we have the Bobbi Jo and Sheena way, which is so much more better.
And here we just come to you just raw and real with some good conversations. And today what I wanted to get enthusiastic about is that my mom just talked to me a little while ago and said, well, so and so said that she called you last week and you haven't called her back. And it's like, wow, just don't take things personally, people. Like, I was busy. She never said, hey, I need to talk to you. Give me a call back. She just said, hey, I'm driving to work. Give me a call when you can. So that left it open. So people learn to use your words, be specific in your communication and what you want. If you wanted me, hey, I have to talk to you. Give me a call back. Boom, you drop the mic. I understand that. But just, hey, I was just giving you a call on my way to work and then having your feelings hurt that I didn't call you back. So don't take things personally. And doesn't Don Miguel Roots, is that his name? He
Don
says that.
Miguel Ruiz.
Ruiz, yeah, and the four agreements, right? He talks about that. Do not take things personally. And you know what this opens up to? Perception. One of my favorite
Absolutely.
words. What do you want
Isn't
to
it
say
just
about
like, don't take things personally? I mean, one of the things that I recognized, and it took a while to realize, is that we're all one. And so how can we take things personally whenever, like Bobbi Jo is my sister, whoever is watching this, you're my brother or you're my sister. We're literally all one family. We're all one. It's like this beautiful universal energy is sitting behind the scenes and has put on the Sheena costume. And now it's put on the Bobbi Jo costume. And so we're literally just dancing together. So yeah, don't take things personally, because yeah, you're right, Bobbi Jo. Whenever you say perception, I mean, I know that in lesson 2 in thinking into results, they talk about non-productive actions. Well, that's non-productive actions is non-productive thoughts, non-productive thinking, non-productive doing. And whenever you take things personally and make assumptions when you don't really know the full information, and then play victim, as you said,
yes.
then it's just like it's a waste of your time. And I bet you might be thinking about that for a whole hour. And some people might even take a whole day to think about it and then say they're busy.
Yes. And you're busy just reacting about things, about your perception. And so you have to ask, right? Katie Byron's good with that. Do I know this to be true? So you really have to ask things and like come in here have this awareness. So this is what we're going to be talking about. I'd love to come to you just 5 days a week for 10 minutes at a time, just talking off the cuff, trying to give you some inspiration, forming a, global community, a tribe here of people who are like-minded, who want to inspire and bring each other up. That's really important to me, to bring each other up, because people out there are just tearing each other down. There's no need for it. And I like what Sheena said there, and it took me decades to really understand this, that we are one. I used to think that sounded so woo-woo in my 20s, and it took me 3 decades later, and now I'm like, okay, I think I get it now. So you want to take the shortcut up the mountain in the gondola ride, just know that we are all one, and everything does come down to love. And if you're really unsure and thinking that's BS or not, like, what? Think about it. When it comes to love and think about the people you love, doesn't that inspire you? It's so much better. It's like smiling is easier than frowning. It takes more muscles, right? It's the same thing. To come out of love is so much easier. There's nothing to compete about here at all. We're all here for you. If you ever have any questions, drop it in the line in the YouTube. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to chit chat. If you have any topics you want us to talk about, we would absolutely love it.
Absolutely love it, love it, love it. You're a star at this, Bobbi Jo, absolute star. So
It's just
listen, the other
fun.
thing about perception, isn't it, is and I've completely forgotten what I was going to say, so you might have to just I did have an idea in my mind and then my mouth went off on somewhere else, but I'll circle back on something that I was thinking about was perception of, that's what it was when you said about love. When you come from that oneness and from that love, you look at the world differently. If you're coming from lack and that's your perception. So what I realized was is I could take action in, it didn't matter what action I was taking, but if I was coming from a consciousness and a perception of lack and getting, I could take the same action and get lack. But if I come from the perception of abundance and love and everything is working out for me, then I can take exactly the same action, but it will generate abundance. And that was the one thing that, because Bobbi Jo knows me, that I'm action, action, action. As soon as I have an idea, I am running with the damn thing. But it was always to get something
Hmm.
rather than to recognize that I already had it and I was just making known the unknown, and that it's just literally everything is here right now. Quantum science has already, agrees with all of this. This isn't woo woo, this is science based information. But to think that you're getting, which is what a lot of people think about the law of attraction is about, they think it's about getting something. But that would be assertion, that would be going out to get. It's attraction. It's
Ah, I like that.
Bobby Jo, you had a great phrase from somebody that you were reading, and it was called bloom where you stand.
I
And
forgot
I love that idea. Bloom where you stand. Like the flowers don't go out to get the bees. The flower just shines as she is, and then the bees come to her or him, whatever.
And that's what I love about you, Sheena. Sheena has a great mind. You tell her one thing and then she remembers it. I'm like, I forgot all about that. Yeah, bloom where you stand. That is a beautiful thing. And people need to know out there a little shift of that and a different perception. How I look at that, the law of attraction, we know that's a secondary law. It's a law of vibration, as we're taught, and we know that. But yes, it's like when you're going to buy something, right? You just want to buy it, you buy it. Yeah, you want that. But sometimes don't you look at the price tag and guess what happens? You go, ooh, right? Vibrationally just dropped. I can't afford that. And so you're putting yourself in lack. So then the more you go, I am prosperity, I am prosperity, I am prosperity, I am prosperity. Well, then the universe is like, knows you're just you're trying to fool it, that you're wanting it. You're in the want instead of just the abundance of it is kind of. It's that you see that shift. I don't know if I'm wording it right, but instead of needing it or wanting it, you just are it. And so it's a shift in your mind to know that. And if you can't do it, you're like, well, I don't have $100 million, Bobbi Jo. That's the fact. Well, it's like, you know what? You're breathing air for free, right? You have your health, you have your smile, you have a toothbrush, thank God. So there's like the small things that you can just sit in to know. And that comes, I always forget about the gratitude because I went to India to study yoga. So I feel like I'm always in a state of gratitude, but I forget how much that people really do need that gratitude list in the morning to just sit and be grateful. And I hear it over and over, the people that say that when they do that list, their lives do shift. So there's another little homework for those out there that want to change their lives. It's small things like this. It's like a Rubik's Cube. What's going to work for you? We'll give you all sorts of ideas when you keep listening to us, but it's like what's going to work for you. Every Rubik's Cube's a little bit different.
Hmm. And just when you said about the I am, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Whenever I was doing my I am statements, I mean, I am was always stayed with us. There's nobody else can say I am for you. I mean, people say, God is I am. Well, then if you just look at the word I am and think, well, is there another I am in the room with you right now? There's only one I am and it's never left you. So Sheena came after the I am, and so whenever you can think of the I am statement, whatever you say after it can come true. But if you do it from a lack consciousness, that's when you say, I am prosperity, I am prosperity. Like you say, you're not fooling anybody. And it's working on your consciousness. Rich is not a number, rich is a feeling.
Yeah.
And I couldn't say it, Bobbi Jo. I remember when I was at my worst time, and I remember standing in the shower trying to say, I am prosperity. And it just was like, it wasn't melting in. It was being said here, but it wasn't actually coming into my body. And
Mm-hmm.
actually, that took me a good couple of years to be able to feel the word prosperity. I didn't even know what prosperity felt like. I knew what it was in my head, but I didn't know it in my body. So that's one of the things, is that when you're thinking about your I am, even if you feel it feels awkward and you can't get it in, just keep the repetition of it going. You cannot make yourself prosperous, but when you keep saying I am prosperity, the subconscious that is in there listening to you will do it for you. But I was trying to make it happen rather than allowing it to come out from the inside out. Does that make sense to you, Bobbi Jo?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And I think you have to think about why you wanted it, right? Because you got to be in alignment with your soul's purpose. We're all not supposed to be millionaires and have yachts. I think we're all here really to serve. So there's deeper underlining of why do we really even want what we want. And I
But
don't
to
know if
feel,
it's even,
sorry, go
no, you
ahead.
go. You go.
I was just thinking, but to feel rich,
Ah.
I didn't know what that felt like. Like I couldn't feel it in any cell of my body. I couldn't feel prosperous. So you're right. It's not about having a being a millionaire or having yachts. It was the actual fact that my body couldn't even. It was like bouncing off.
Yeah.
That I couldn't. I didn't feel rich as Sheena, and that was actually you mentioned it before about love because I didn't love myself.
Mm,
And so I couldn't allow feelings of rich, prosperous. Prosperous means you've got a fridge full. Prosperous means you've got your family. Prosperous doesn't even mean anything outside. It's a it's a feeling,
I love
and
that.
that's love.
Hmm. And I think that's great for today. Think about that, everyone. I'm like, I'm really good with that. Little tidbits here and there. That's what I want here. Little tidbits here and here. See, start feeling prosperous. But you know what? These years, I want we'll end here shortly. But that all these years, I feel like Sheena, haven't they felt like unbecoming? You know, it's like a society has put us into these cultural and family paradigms wherever we have grown up in the world, and that it's really been unbecoming in learning who we are to love ourselves as who we are authentically. Because we've been like, oh, Bobbi Jo, we want to say, oh, the right or the rafting guide, or Bobbi Jo the yogi, or Bobbi Jo this, all these labels. And it's just Bobbi Jo the love. And that's the same that's in everyone. And so when you start to recognize that, and you'll see that in Sheena, and you'll see that reflection of yourself in me, and as always, just take it day by day with us, right? Don't be like, oh my God, I got to get there. I got to get there. As you hear us sing, it's been taking us years to get here. Every day thinking about this. Our poor spouses, they've been such great men listening to us constantly. But that's the unbecoming of everything, to be really just who you are and bloom where you stand.
Bloom where you stand. That's a beautiful way to end it there. So that's your phrase for today. Bloom where you stand. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
All
See
right.
ya.
Have a great day, everyone. If you like this, let us know. And if you tell us, tell a friend about us. Come join us. We love to hear from you. Have a good day.
See ya.